Hello again everyone, and welcome back to Learn Linux TV. In today's video, it's time to check out Fedora 35. Now in the previous release cycle, I felt that Fedora 34 was actually the best GNOME distribution of that cycle, which was really surprising to me. And the reason why I found that so surprising is that, honestly, I'm not normally a fan of Fedora, but as always in my reviews, I call it like I see it, and Fedora 34 was really good. The Fedora team even managed to ship version 40 of the GNOME desktop in Fedora 34, and that means they had an advantage over Ubuntu 21.04, which was released during that same period. In Fedora 35, this time around, we have GNOME 41, which is, as of the time I'm recording this video, the latest version of the GNOME desktop. So that must mean that Fedora 35 is super exciting and has a ton of new features. Well, actually, it's probably one of the more boring Fedora releases that I've ever used, but that might not be a bad thing. Let's go ahead and dive into Fedora 35, and I'll tell you all about it. As always, I like to start off my reviews with the installation process of the distribution that I'm reviewing, and this video is no exception. However, there really isn't anything new or changed when it comes to the installation, so this is probably going to be the shortest section in this review. Overall, the installation process is exactly the same as it was before. But that doesn't imply that the installer is bad. In fact, it works just fine. It does the job that it was created to do. It was able to get Fedora installed on my laptop. So I guess the installer could be considered a win overall. Now, I would like to see some additional options and tweaks added to the installer at some point, but the installer is just as effective as it's always been. It's not the best installer, but it's far from the worst. As with previous versions of Fedora, you'll see a welcome screen show up the first time you log in. It's definitely very helpful for beginners, or anyone else that hasn't used the GNOME desktop before. And it's here with this welcome screen that we start to get an idea of what this release is actually like. Fedora 35 is pretty much the same as before, but pretty much everything, including the welcome screen, has been touched up and refined. And you'll no doubt notice these refinements all over the desktop. After I logged into Fedora 35 and played with it for a little while, my first impression is that it's not really an exciting release at all. But that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It really just depends on your point of view. The biggest highlight with Fedora 35 is easily GNOME 41. And this latest version of the GNOME desktop isn't really all that monumental. But it is a necessary release. The focus with GNOME 41 seems to be refining the user experience, and there's no one huge change anywhere that you'll find, but instead there's many smaller changes all over. And those smaller changes give you a better experience overall. And the GNOME implementation in Fedora 35 is pretty much the same as it's always been. Beyond the wallpaper, the Fedora team doesn't really customize, well, much of anything. The GNOME experience that you get here is mostly unchanged from upstream. It's a very vanilla implementation. And that means that the desktop theme, other than the wallpaper, is exactly what the GNOME developers have intended. So if you're looking for a vanilla GNOME experience, then you'll definitely love Fedora 35. It's a great GNOME implementation overall. But if you're the type of person that prefers distribution-specific tweaks and quality of life improvements, then unfortunately you're going to be very disappointed. Distributions such as Ubuntu put a lot of work into the theme of their GNOME implementation, and they also provide quality of life improvements such as giving you a panel. However, it can be easily argued that Ubuntu goes a bit too far with their customization, almost to the point where their implementation of GNOME isn't immediately recognizable as GNOME. But the fact that GNOME 41 is available in Fedora 35 is awesome. And that probably doesn't really seem like a big deal. I mean, I don't personally remember a time when Fedora didn't give you the latest GNOME. But Ubuntu, on the other hand, has been one major version of GNOME behind for 2 releases in a row, and due to that, being able to check out the latest GNOME desktop in Fedora 35 is especially welcome. With as much as Ubuntu changes the GNOME experience, I find myself actually enjoying the vanilla experience in Fedora 35. It's mine to do with as I please, almost like a blank canvas. Basically, I don't find myself having to disable distribution-specific tweaks, such as Ubuntu's dock, which I'm not personally a fan of. At the end of the day, we have a plain and somewhat boring GNOME implementation in Fedora yet again, but sometimes boring is good. Fedora sticks to what it does, and it does it well. In fact, the integration with Gnome, just like countless previous releases of Fedora, is very solid. Probably the most thorough implementation of Gnome in any Linux desktop that I've used. And one of the ways that the Fedora development team achieves this is that they don't seem to reinvent the wheel anywhere they don't absolutely have to. You'll notice tight integration with Gnome pretty much everywhere, and one example of that is when you install updates. If you install updates through Gnome software, it triggers a reboot that gives you a professional-looking updater that is of equal quality compared to proprietary operating systems. It even noticed that I had a firmware update, which I also installed. So when it comes to desktop integration, Fedora does a very good job. With previous releases of Fedora, installing proprietary drivers and software has been a bit of a pain. Now don't get me wrong, I loathe proprietary software just as much as the average Linux user. But every now and then, it's actually necessary to install a proprietary driver or a piece of software that you can't seem to get away from. One example of this is the NVIDIA GPU driver, which has in the past been kind of difficult to install in Fedora. But nowadays, that's not really the case anymore. In fact, my experience with Fedora 35 is that installing proprietary software, when you need to, is easier than it's ever been. When you first log into Fedora this time around, you'll be asked during the welcome screen whether or not you'd like to have third-party repositories enabled. This message used to come up within Gnome software itself, but I think it's better to ask the user right away when they first log in, so that way Gnome software doesn't have to refresh multiple times. You simply choose to enable third-party software or not right from the first login, and then you're all set. As for me, my ThinkPad X1 Extreme, Gen 1, the machine that I use to capture most of the footage that I use in my reviews, has an NVIDIA GPU. Right in Gnome software, we have a hardware driver section, and you can actually install the NVIDIA driver right from there. Now, Ubuntu also makes it easy as well to install the NVIDIA driver. They have a dedicated app for that purpose. And I've always enjoyed that about Ubuntu. They make it really easy to install drivers for any proprietary hardware that you might have. But I have to give credit to Fedora here. Having the hardware drivers section available right from Gnome software seems like a better fit to me. And that also means that Fedora doesn't have to maintain a secondary app for that purpose. And that's another example of the Fedora developers not trying to reinvent the wheel. Instead, they added the NVIDIA driver to a very logical place. When I first did my review of Fedora 34, the previous version, several people wrote in and told me that I wasn't really installing the NVIDIA driver the best possible or the easiest way. And I think what they were referring to is that the NVIDIA driver was made available in Gnome software as well, but for whatever reason, I didn't notice it the first time around, but I definitely noticed it here. So this might not actually be new, but it is welcome that the NVIDIA driver is very easy to install. Speaking of Gnome software, choosing to enable third-party repositories instantly gives you access to Flatpaks as well. When you go to install an application, you could choose to install the Fedora package for an app or the Flatpak version. The Flatpak version will generally be newer, well, at least most of the time, but newer isn't always better. Fedora allows you to be the judge as far as how bleeding edge you actually want to be. You, as the user, gets to choose where you get your software from. Maybe you care about having the latest and greatest version of everything, or maybe you don't. But either way, you choose. And I think that's the best way to handle multiple package types. Gnome software isn't vastly different this time around, but there are numerous small tweaks and refinements which make it great. Installing apps is pretty straightforward, so if you've installed apps through Gnome software before, then it's pretty much the same experience this time around as well. But I really like having access to packages from different repositories, and I also like the fact that hardware drivers are given their own section. So overall, I think software management in Fedora 35 is definitely a win. As I mentioned, Fedora 35 gives us the latest version of the GNOME desktop. So what exciting features can we expect from GNOME 41? Well, not much, unfortunately. GNOME 40 was a fairly sizable change, but GNOME 41 seems to have only minor refinements. In fact, this version of Fedora overall seems to be a very minor release with no exciting changes anywhere. But there's still a few changes that are worth mentioning. First of all, we have multitasking tweaks added to GNOME settings, and this might actually be the largest change in GNOME this time around. Now, none of these tweaks are actually new. Previously, users would rely on either installing Gnome tweaks or some sort of extension in order to get access to settings such as disabling hot corners. Now, multitasking settings are in one place and very easy to access. And I think this means that users will be less likely to install extensions in this release. Now, don't get me wrong, Gnome extensions can actually be very useful, but the more extensions you install, the greater the chance you'll experience instability. When it comes to extensions, less is more. I'm not saying that you should abandon extensions altogether, but you shouldn't go crazy and install a ton of them either. And I think the multitasking settings being exposed in Gnome settings will actually make some of the extensions out there irrelevant. Another nice tweak that I've noticed is that power profiles are available in the upper right-hand corner. This allows you easy and quick access to power profiles. Now, this might not actually seem like a new feature to some of you. Some distributions have been including some sort of tweak or extension in order to expose these settings in the exact same place. But now, the power profiles being available from this menu is built right into Gnome, so an extension isn't needed to put these settings there. The different power profiles themselves aren't actually new. Those settings were accessible in Gnome settings in the previous release. The main difference now is they're available right here in this menu, which I would argue is a great place to find these settings. Overall, my experience with Fedora 35 has been pretty solid, but there's one exception, unfortunately. After installing the proprietary NVIDIA driver, if I have an external display plugged into my laptop when I first power it on, it'll never boot. Literally, the desktop will actually never appear. Now, as long as I don't have a monitor plugged in when I press the power button, everything is fine. And for a solid distribution like Fedora 35, I find this really odd. I don't really know what could cause a bug like this. It seems to be some sort of regression. Maybe I'll just blame the proprietary NVIDIA driver, but it is what it is. As long as I don't have an external display plugged in when I first power it on, everything is fine. There's really not much in the way of new features here, but if you're already using Fedora 34, then upgrading is a no-brainer. While you'll probably not notice all that much different from the previous release, less change also means that stability is increased. And with all the changes and craziness in the Linux community nowadays, I don't think that taking a break from a lot of change is necessarily a bad thing. And I have to say, I think the word boring is the best word to use for Fedora 35. And I think boring could be a good thing for some of you. Maybe you want something solid, something stable, something predictable, and that's exactly what you get with Fedora 35. Now, Fedora 35 is very stable, it's fast. Other than that one issue I mentioned with external displays, I haven't had a single problem at all. It keeps up with me, and I think it's a great release. But if you're looking for a lot of changes and polish, maybe distribution-specific tweaks, you'll be disappointed with Fedora 35. But then again, this is the way that Fedora has been for countless releases now, so it's more of the same for better or worse. But as boring as Fedora 35 happens to be, I don't hesitate to recommend it at all. Especially for those of you that are coming from Fedora 34. You'll only benefit from upgrading to Fedora 35. Sure, you won't have all that many new features to benefit from, but it is a worthy upgrade, and even if you're not running Fedora, it might be a good time to check it out. The desktop integration in this release of Fedora is on point. Gnome is integrated very well, just as it's always been. I do enjoy the small refinements that are all over the place, so I think overall Fedora 35 is a win. In fact, so far I think it might be the best Gnome distribution of the year. Now, part of that might be because Ubuntu changes Gnome to the point where it's not really Gnome anymore, so there's not really all that much competition either. But the Gnome experience in Fedora 35 is solid. I think it's a great desktop, and I recommend that you check it out. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of Fedora 35, and definitely subscribe if you haven't already done so. I have some awesome content coming very soon. And as always, thanks for watching.